Hello, dear students. Today is our theme, pronouns. Definition. Pronoun is the sentence element used to replace a noun or a noun equivalent construction. The replaced noun is named the antecedent. Categories of pronouns. Syntactically, pronouns have the same functions as nouns do. Morphologically, pronouns are used to avoid repetition and to set clarify nouns categories of number, person, and gender. There are 8 categories of pronouns. The categories of pronouns are: first one, personal pronouns; second one, possessive pronouns; third one, demonstrative pronouns; fourth one, reflexive and emphatic pronouns; fifth one, interrogative pronouns; sixth one, relative pronouns; seventh one, reciprocal pronouns; and the last one, indefinite pronouns. And now we will talk about personal pronoun. Here are the personal pronouns followed by some example sentences. Please pay your attention to the number. So there are 2 numbers, singular and plural. Person, first person, second person, and third person for singular, and first person, second person, third person for plural. Gender, male and female. For subject, personal pronouns I, and object, personal pronouns me. Subject, personal pronouns you, object pronouns you. Subject pronouns he for third person, object pronouns him. Subject pronouns she, object pronoun her. Subject pronoun and object pronoun for it is the same. And for plural, first person we, object us. Subject you, second person, object you. Subject third person they, and object third person them. Examples. In each case, the first example shows a subject pronoun, the second an object pronoun. Possessive pronouns. We use possessive pronouns to refer to a specific person or people or thing belonging to a person or people, and sometimes belonging to an animal or thing. You will never find a possessive pronoun near a noun, despite the fact it is the genitive of personal pronoun. We use possessive pronouns depending on number, singular, mine, or plural, ours. Person first, mine; second person, yours, or third person, his. Gender, male, his; for female, hers. Below are the possessive pronouns followed by some example sentences. Each possessive pronoun can be subject or object, referred to a singular or plural antecedent. Numbers, as usual, singular and plural. Person first, second, third, and gender of owner, male or female, and possessive pronouns. So first person singular, mine; second person singular, yours; third person singular, his for male and hers for female. Plural number, first person, possessive pronouns, ours; second, yours; and third, theirs. And let's talk about reflexive and emphatic pronoun. Reflexive pronoun is used with an active voice verb in order to reflect the action of the verb back on the subject, the antecedent. Emphatic pronoun accompanies its antecedent in order to accentuate its action or state. Reflexive and emphatic pronouns take different positions within the sentence structure. We use a reflexive pronoun when we want to refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause. Reflexive pronouns end in self, singular, or salvus, plural. There are 8 reflexive pronouns. Singular reflexive pronoun: myself, yourself, himself, herself, and itself. Pay attention to the last letter. In singular, you have to use the letter F. Plural: ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. In plural, you have to use the letter V plus ES. And now we will talk about demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives have exactly the same forms. The way to differentiate them depends on their position relative to the antecedent determined nouns. Demonstrative pronouns these, that, those, the former, the latter, the first, the last, the other, the others, same, such, so. The demonstrative pronoun these you have to use when something stands closer to you and for singular, and these for plural. The demonstrative pronoun that you have to use for things that stands far away of you for singular, those for plural number. Attention! The word that has four main functions. First function is demonstrative pronoun or adjective. That book is good. Second one, relative pronoun. Anything that you remember could help a lot. Conjunction. He said that he had been there before. And the last one, adverb. You can use as an adverb. The snow was that high. Interrogative pronoun. We use interrogative pronouns to ask questions. The interrogative pronoun represents the thing that we don't know what we are asking the question about. There are four main interrogative pronouns: who, whom, what, and which. The possessive pronoun whose can also be an interrogative pronoun, an interrogative possessive pronoun. So person, thing, person or thing, and person, subject and object. So who we can use for persons and at the place of the subject, whom as the place of the object, what we can use for things, which also we can use for things and for person, and whose also we can use for person in order to show possessive. Questions. Who told you? And answer, John told me. It's subject. We asked about the subject. Whom did you tell? I told Mary. Object. So pay attention to the auxiliary verb. If you want to ask about subject, you mustn't use an auxiliary. But if you want to ask about this object, you have to use the auxiliary verb did, because our main sentence stands in the past simple. What's happened? An accident happened. Subject. Here we also ask about the subject. For this reason, we didn't use an auxiliary verb. And now we will talk about relative pronouns. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. It's called a relative pronoun because it relates to the words that it modifies. There are 5 relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who, subject, and whom, object, are generally only for people. Whose is for possession, which is for things. That can be used for people and things and as subject and object in defining relative clauses. Relative pronouns can refer to singular or plural, and there is no difference between male and female. Examples. The person who phoned me last night is my teacher. The car which hit me was yellow. As you see, here we used car, and for this reason we have used which. The person whom I phoned last night is my teacher. The car whose driver jumped out just before the accident was completely destroyed. Reciprocal pronouns. We use reciprocal pronouns when each of 2 or more subjects is acting in the same way towards the other. There are only 2 reciprocal pronouns, and they are both 2 words, each other or one another. When we use these reciprocal pronouns, there must be 2 or more people, things, or groups involved. So we cannot use reciprocal pronouns with I, you singular, he, she, it, and they must be doing the same thing. For example, John and Mary love each other. The 10 prisoners were all blaming one another. Why don't you believe each other? Indefinite pronoun. An indefinite pronoun doesn't refer to any specific person, thing, or amount. It's vague and not definite. Some typical indefinite pronouns are singular and plural. For singular, another, anybody, anyone, anything, each, either, everybody, everyone, everything, much, neither, nobody, no one, nothing, one, somebody, someone, something. And for plural, both, few, many, others, and several. All, any, most, none, and some can be singular or plural, depending on the phrase that follows them. Note that many indefinite pronouns also function as other parts of speech. Look at another in the following sentences. He has one job in the day and another at night. It's pronoun. I'd like another drink, please. It's adjective. Most indefinite pronouns are either singular or plural. However, some of them can be singular in one context and plural in another. Notice that a singular pronoun takes a singular verb and that any personal pronoun should also agree in number and gender. All is forgiven. All have arrived. We can start the meeting because everybody has arrived. John likes coffee but not tea. I think both are good. And it's the end of our lesson. Bye bye.